G'day, Gunt.
How you going, John?
Good, mate. We're down here in your factory at Ballina in the showroom. We've had a little bit of a mishap start with my high-tech Harry stuff. But anyway, I remember when you stepped into the showroom at Jeff McCoy's in 1973. That was the first time we met. Do you want to tell us how you got to that point and maybe a little bit about your background in Capetown?
Yeah, I came to South Africa when I was 4 years old in 1957 from Austria, Vienna. I was born in Vienna. My dad was a civil engineer and architect, and he was looking to get out of Austria, looking for opportunities, and South Africa at the time needed the same kind of people Australia needed, qualified civil engineers and architects. Like, he could have worked on the Snowy Mountain River scheme. And he decided on South Africa instead, and I guess his thinking might have been, oh, it's closer to Europe, so we'll go there. Which really, in hindsight, was the best thing he could have done for me, because I grew up in South Africa and I did a lot of growing up in Australia.
So how old were you when you came? 19, 20 or something like that?
I was 20 years old when
Right,
I came.
yeah, I was 18, yeah. Okay.
And anyway, I grew up in a place called Sea Point in Cape Town and learned to surf at Solly's Bay, which wasn't the best surf break.
But you started shaping over there a couple of years.
A whole heap of us, we started shaping our own boards, Johnny Palmer, Piers Bedard.
And they were like the legends of South Africa, and they've got Johnny Palmer.
Yeah.
And what brought you to Brookvale?
Well, before Bali, South Africa was the go-to place to go to Jeffreys Bay for a lot of Australians.
It was, yes. And so you met some of them over there?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah,
California.
because a lot of the DIY guys, a lot of the DIY guys went there, but some of them even married South African girls.
Yep.
And so we had a connection to that place.
Yeah. Beaver married a South African girl.
Yeah.
Val, that's right.
Yeah.
Anyway, met a lot of Australians on their way to Europe. Some of them weren't real surfers, they were just on the fringe, others were very serious. Met a lot of guys from the Central Coast. They're really the ones I befriended. There's quite a few of them, like Alan Warren. Who's the other one I'm trying to think of? You know, age is not a good thing. I'm starting to forget a few things.
We're still
spent
here,
a
mate.
lot of time in Bali, and Sumba, he developed a surf spot there. What was it? Dave Wiley.
Oh, yeah.
And I had a lot of Californian mates as well, and a lot of us either came here or went to California.
Okay, so here we're in Ballina, and I always, like, Lennox is my favourite backhand wave of all time, and I did one trip to J Bay where I had a great early days, and but a lot of South Africans ended up at Lennox. And could you describe?
Everyone talked about Broken Head,
Right.
Lennox, and I sort of figured.
But it's Lennox itself,
appeals more than California.
For sure. But so Lennox itself, though, could you describe it as a poor man's Jeffreys Bay? The actual wave.
The way that it broke about, how long ago was it now? Nearly a year ago? Because time flies. And it was as good as I've ever seen Lennox. It was 6 to 8 feet, easy, and just breaking top to bottom. Now, you take a day like that, it'll rival Super Tubes any time of the day.
Right.
No problem.
I say that though because a lot of South Africans ended up, quite a few of you ended up at Lennox.
Yeah, the problem with Lennox is it depends on sand for it to be good, whereas Super Tubes, J-Bay, it doesn't.
Right.
It'll break good whether it's sanded up or not. And sometimes when it's sanded up, supers is even better. But the bottom line is the average supers is much better than Lennox. But when you get Lennox, as good as it can get,
it's good.
It's rounder than supers.
Yeah.
Supers is more almond shaped until it gets sanded up, like Impossibles. You go through Impossibles, you make it through that. If it's sanded up, well, it's a Lennox type wave, you know.
But quite a few South Africans ended up at J Bay, and I often thought that was, you know, that the similarities to J Bay.
Well, this is the land of points, right? From, I guess from Crescent Head up, there's a lot of points.
It's just driving down. And this morning, and those rolling hills at the back of Byron, you know, from Brunswick Heads to Ballina, because the landscape changes here at Ballina, doesn't it, once you go a bit south, whereas like west of the coast, from Ballina to Burleigh, say, it's just, you know, the most pristine, prime land, the rolling green hills, and you know, and
point after point.
And point after point. And I think it's all from Mount Warning. You know, the volcano that made them.
I mean, you could keep going up the Barrier Reef, and you see points, and you go, geez, if it wasn't for the Barrier Reef, this is...
it's not our best asset, is it? It's
from a surface point of view.
From a surface point of view, but the surface, don't forget, the surface invented just about all the famous places, like Noosa and Byron, and those places that are unattainable now, is all because the surfers went there. Okay, so let's go. We gave you a job at Jeff's as the finish coater. You're probably not one of your best boards you've ever shaped, that beautiful pink thing with you came in and said...
It was worse than the first one I did. I thought I had it...
I can remember, it was about 3 inches thick, but it had square rails.
Anyway, Paul Josky worked with us in Capetown. And I did my first board, and he says, geez, that's pretty good for a first attempt, and the board worked really well. So I did another one, and that's the one I came to Australia with, and it was a total dog. Anyway, Peter Lawrence was there and said, well, what do you want to do? He said, I want to shape. He said, right, here's a plane. See how you go.
So he gave you...
and he'd gone, no, I don't think this is going to cut it, but we need someone to finish coat and pin line. I said, I'll give that a crack.
And so, how good was it back in those days? I was only saying to Murray Burton the other day, you know, the difference between the old guys at Brookvale. They didn't seem to have a war going on with one another.
No.
They helped people left, right, and centre.
We all got
and the story back then was to make it meant just doing your job, being able to go surfing and do that. It wasn't. It wasn't a matter of
each other's factories. Like I went to Hot Butted quite a lot while working for Jeff, because I knew Steve Artis. He became a good mate, and you know, there was none of the
no one was trying to be the best, the biggest, or anything like that. And the amount of guys I saw turn up that were given a go, you know, was unbelievable. So then it wasn't much longer than you moved up here. So tell us a little bit about that.
To move to Avoca, and he said, "You want to come with us?" And I thought, I want to see my mates in Noosa. I want to go up the coast. I think I'll flag it, you know. So I didn't do it. And I went to see my mates from Capetown. There was one or two from Durban up in Noosa, and this was April, May. I stayed there for 3 months, and I asked them, "What are you guys doing up here? There's no waves here. Sunshine Beach gets better than the points." Well, and then it never got a decent swell. All I ever surfed was granites and tea tree. It never got big enough for nationals. And I said, no, I got a job lined up in Byron. This was working for Warren Cornish at Tony Surf.
Right, because I was going to ask, did you ever work for Warren? That was one of my questions.
He lined that up, and I said, I'm moving to Lennox, and that was that. I've never left. I've been
And what's that, about 74?
Yeah. I've been here on and off without too many breaks. I mean, I had 14 months in Hawaii and California.
That's 51 years.
Yeah. And
it's not a bad innings.
Went back to South Africa in '83 to shape for 3 months in Margate, the south coast of Durban. Unbelievable surf south of Durban.
Oh yeah, it is. Yeah.
Unreal.
The wild coast.
Yeah. I mean, try and do that now. And now you've got to. If you want to surf there now, one person's got to stay with the car. You've got to be armed.
Wow.
That's how it is.
Gabe Callaghan and I drove through the Transkei and, smoking chillums and, no worries, pulling up and taking photos with the kids. And
it was always better to get through the Transkei by daytime.
Yeah, we did. We did even back then, so that was 81. All right, well, and so that's a long shaping career. Yeah. Tell us some of the guys that you've shaped boards for, and let's go from there. We'll see. You can send me some pictures of those guys, and we'll slot them up.
Oh yeah, there's pictures. And I've got to dig it up.
Well, you can do that. Well, I'll take a picture of that. It's like choosing your favourite child, I guess.
Yeah.
But you can just run through them all. You don't have to say which is which.
I was very fortunate. Once I came back from Hawaii in '79, I'd worked for Lightning Bolt, shaped boards and did the same thing, penlined and finish coated. Got to know Rory Russell and Jackie Dunn really well. Jackie was a neighbour of mine. Never met Jerry Lopez because his boards were made by Jack Reeves. So we never got to do his boards, and that's a funny one, because...
It still is, isn't it?
Yeah, he's one person I've never formally met, at a distance, yes, but never had a decent conversation with him. So, it's a weird one. Working for Lightning Bolt, and I didn't formally meet Jerry Lopez, He was there at the house. I was there that winter. I think he'd been somewhere else and he arrived late, so our paths didn't really meet much. And anyway, I came back, and after starting Free Flight with Lindsay Grant, I left in
you started the Free Flight.
Free Flight was a brand that sponsored me in Capetown.
Oh, okay. So, what wasn't originally Free Flight in Ballina? It was already going from South Africa or something, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was a brand in South Africa.
Oh, okay. Because, I did Free Glide, and it wasn't any, I didn't even know that Free Flight, I guess people have confused them over the years, but it wasn't, I didn't copy it or anything. If I copied anything, it was a cross between Free Ride and, Free Ride,
Yeah,
but
very similar connotation.
Yeah. And, it was with Peter Lawrence, because we started it together, and we were sitting there, and then I came up with a name, and then he let me keep it. He didn't want to do it anymore, and his brother was a good guy. But anyway, sorry. So because I thought that Free Flight was just started here in Ballina.
It was a brand in South Africa that looked after me.
Right. Okay. So you were the one that.
That's a good name. We'll give it that name because Lindsay Grant had a brand called Group Surfboards, and we thought, we're going to change it,
Yeah.
That's where I really started to shape a few boards. Before that, I worked for John McKeag for Soul Surfboards, and I owe John a lot because he let me fuck up a lot of surfboards, quite a lot. But he didn't do a lot, but stuffed a few, but because I did the whole job. And then Lindsay arrived, and John McKeag said, stuff making surfboards, go and work with him. And, that's where I really started cutting my teeth and started making a few boards.
And that's where...
1978.
78, yeah, because I thought it was around...
78 when I left. It started in 75.
Oh, okay, yep.
So I was there for 3 years, and we developed it, and Phil started working there, sanding and starting to shape boards, and Sue and myself, my wife, we were looking at this house we wanted to buy, and couldn't get a loan because of the job, and Lester Bryan had a way and he was organising a loan for me. In the time it took him to get the loan, the house was sold from under us, and we've gone, oh shit, let's just go overseas, you know, let's just go and see the oldies, because the oldies in the meantime had moved to England from South Africa. That's a long story,
yeah.
I won't go into that. I said, yeah, let's go to Bali. We stayed in Bali for a month and then went on to England. And in Bali, I was surfing Padang. This was in 78, and met up with Bob McKnight and a very good friend of mine, John Winship, Jeff Hackman. They'd started Quicksilver in California. They were the partners, and I said what I was going to do. Yeah, I'm going to go to England, see the oldies, and then California and Hawaii. That's the idea. And I'm going to need work. And they said, yeah, Jeff McCoy's just started something with a guy called Greg Pouch in California. Maybe we can line you up with a job. And they did, you know. So I ended up in California, and that's really where I started production shaping.
And
my production shaping started in California.
You were with Jeff?
Jeff, yeah. And a guy called Rick James and Herbie Fletcher helped develop all his Astro. It went the whole length of the board, so we did templates and stuff, so I worked with them. And then went to Hawaii and, yeah, stayed there for...
All right, let's get back to your, the guys. So I believe Nicky Wood won that bells on one of your boards, okay?
Okay, so when I came back, there was no room for me at Free Flight because Carl Smith, the 6-channel thing, was taking off big time. I did a few boards and I figured Nick Wood arrived and he really put my name on the map because he gravitated to my boards. Tony Surf was the head shaper at Town and Country. He did most of the team boards. And anyway, it all went from there. You know, I worked for Town and Country for 9 years.
So Nick won the bells.
Yeah, he won the bells in 1987.
The youngest winner of bells.
Yeah, he was 16 at the time.
Yeah, that's unreal.
Dog Marsh. They were both. Dog Marsh was a wild card as well from memory, and he was only 17, I think. You know. And going very well now with his coaching. He's just had...
Oh, how was Connor?
Yeah.
Wasn't that unreal from a fellow goofy footer?
I thought it was only a matter of time because
I just saw
backhands
that was
about as
so good.
Strong as you can get. I don't think there's anyone better on his backhand, to be honest.
I saw a thing on Insta this morning of him talking about that 10-point ride, and he comes across as a really nice young bloke, really grounded.
Very unassuming and well-grounded. Anyway, so
Nick won, and then so who were some of the other guys over the years?
Oh, Sonny Garcia was one of our biggest
supporters. The top liner?
Yeah, and we got Rod Kerr. Who kicked the goal in various degrees.
But that brings me into another thing I was thinking about. You ended up having quite an association with the South Side, where you came to Brookvale. So tell us about that and how that came about. So it was Bondi and Maroubra?
Yeah.
Okay.
It was.
Tell us about how that came around and some of the guys.
Well, I was good friends with Steve Jones.
Oh, okay, yep.
And I'm trying to recollect. He started looking at getting Town and Country. This was 1985. And him and Dave Ginzel, who's become a very good friend.
Oh, that's
a really supportive person. And they started this hole in the wall in Lamrock Avenue, Bondi Surf Cove. And they concentrated mainly on Rodney, Dalbergs and my boards. And that was 1985, so I went down there a lot.
Important time, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, the scheme of things.
And it just, I spent a lot of time in the eastern suburbs, just going down and promoting things, just being a part of it kind of thing. Working, yeah.
Yeah, and you probably would have done a bit of partying too,
yes,
down there.
Definitely did a bit of partying. And it went from there. I started locomotion because Carl Birch from Cheetah got the license and they put it to me. I was thinking about going out on my own anyway, after 9
From
years.
Town and Country.
From Town and Country.
Yep.
And this came up. And from memory, if I hadn't have taken up locomotion, Alan Byrne would have done it. And I thought, geez, then there's 2 new players in the marketplace. If I take it, there's only going to be 1 more. So.
And so this is still locomotion. This shop would be more focus on your own name.
Yeah, no, locomotion is only done on request. If someone wants locomotion logos, I put them on. Because we now do, this is a very curved one, because we're doing the Town and Country boards again, so it's come full circle.
Well, Dougie stopped, didn't he, a fair while ago. What happened after, because I saw Doug at the Jeff McCoy paddle out at the pass.
Doug had just had enough, I suppose.
Yeah. No, but what after he stopped, what happened? Did it stop
completely? Well, it was offered to Bruno.
Oh, yeah.
And he didn't want to do it.
Yep.
And the people who had the clothing is a guy called Harry Truscott, and they got the label, the boards, everything, and Ian Byrne was doing it, and I was doing it first went to On Board, who do Channel Islands. That's who it went to. And they eventually dropped it, and it was left in limbo, and it was offered to me, and I said, yeah, well,
why not?
Do it. It's good.
It's just a surfboard's a surfboard.
Yeah, I mean, it's come full circle, and I got fond memories of it, and Craig and myself. So, in February 92, I started locomotion. I still worked out at Doug's factory for a year, they glassed the boards. I paid them for the glass jobs, and they got the people, Minami Sports, who owned locomotion at the time, poured a lot of money into it. We got a lot of team riders, and that helped me a lot. And the biggest one was Sonny Garcia, who I had a long association with, even after locomotion, doing these boards and stuff, and working in Europe with Pukas. I started with Pukas in First I went and worked with Morris from 1988 to 1990. I did for 3 years.
Morris Cole.
Town and Country, with Morris Cole. And the guys from Pukas, Miguel Aspiros and Inigo, they came up to the factory a few times. They had their problems across the border, trying to figure out how to solve problems with their crew. And anyway, things happened, and I ended up working for them. And that went from 91 to 2011.
So Pukas, where's that? In Spain?
Yeah, across the border.
But the Basque country?
In the Basque country.
Okay, because that's a really political thing, isn't it? You can say
at the time it was,
I did a board for a guy at Lennox, and I forget his name, but I put Spain on it, and he was pissed off that I put Spain on his board. And then not only that, he forgot to do his leg rope up and lost it at the back of Flat Rock on the left, first surf.
Oh, no.
And dinged it all, so it was jinxed from whenever I rode Spain. But that's
the Basque country, yes.
Yeah.
When I first worked there, the ETA was very strong, bombs going off every now and again. And some towns, the Guardia Civil, you didn't see them there because they were ETA.
So you were travelling over in the season. What is the season for there?
I usually went over when the contest started, so I was there August, September.
Okay, so you've shaped in a lot of countries, and I'll quickly rattle them off. So South Africa, Australia, Hawaii, Spain, Japan. Anything else that you can think of? California, Hawaii, all around the world, let's say, comfortably.
Well.
And
so my regret is I never worked in Peru.
Oh, okay. Well, because of the land of less.
Yeah, but you know, owning your own business, you can't go overseas the whole time. You know?
That's what I was about to say.
If you're just a shaper, you can do this.
So you subsidise your business at home here by going over to those other places.
Yeah, because you know, you brought back, I don't know, 3-4 grand, whatever, and that represented 6 surfboards.
Yeah.
You know,
no, but
back in the business. It was more a flag waving exercise than anything.
But also made the ends meet.
Yeah.
You know, rather than sit around here in winter with nothing to do, or you know, what our off season. Sometimes winter can be stronger for us. You know, but it made the ends meet.
Yeah.
You know,
well, over the years,
not just financially, but the whole thing. Like it boosted your name and
exactly.
Yeah, and so. All right, and then we get through to we're in 2025 now. So that was 52 years ago when you stepped into the showroom at Brookvale in Wimborne Road.
It doesn't seem that long ago, does it?
No, it's a life.
That's the scary bit.
It's our life, isn't it? You know, that now we're in the 70 number.
Yeah.
And no, that's all right. It's a real. So, anything else you'd like to add? Like from that time, the late '90s, say, to now. So, because there it is, it's more than half of the time, isn't it? And you know, and it's never been a glamorous thing. We've just got to live our life, haven't we? You know,
it's a lifestyle thing. You can make a comfortable living, you'll never make a killing.
No.
The only one I've ever known who made a killing was Al Merrick.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He's the only one I can ever think of.
Well, good on him for doing it.
He sold his name, he sold the business, and it's back in the family.
Actually, I was talking with Cleggo just before you came, and he was saying that he built these factories, and Joe Larkin had said to me the only time he ever made any money out of surfboards was when he sold his factory.
Yeah.
And Cleggo, exactly. And I did the same too at Tweed, actually. So, and now you're still doing it? You're doing the locomotion, your own. Is it Timmy Patterson? Is that a new board there?
Yeah.
You do them as well?
He approached me to do it, and I had to decide, because I didn't want it to take away from my label, but it hasn't really. It's a different clientele. It's only added, which is good. But yeah, I mean, I don't really do locomotion anymore, unless someone wants the logo.
If they wanted it, And
I don't sell it to shops as locomotion.
Rider. Yeah,
especially with doing town and country, it just doesn't work.
Fair enough. It was always a little bit of a rivalry. I thought, you know, it was heavy, wasn't it?
When I took up locomotion, the rivalry was heavy because Minami Sports poured so much money in it, and
so it was heavy in a way.
It became the biggest label.
Sorry, it was heavy in a way, the rivalry, but you were mates with
over here, not
so much. But no, that's what I was talking about. Is that there was still a bit of rivalry though, wasn't there? You know, and so town and country were the established.
Kid on the block.
But
you know, it's in the end, the money was withdrawn, and locomotion now is trying to regain its footing again after really dropping off. I noticed they're trying to make a push again, you know. But yeah, it's always those three labels: HIC, Town and Country at the top, HIC, Locomotion. Those are the three.
Yeah, and you've just kept going all along. Are you still getting in the water?
Yeah, if you can call it that. I've had so many stoppages, like knee replacements and broken wrists.
See, remember we're at Batty's Wake.
Yeah.
And Wayne Lynch made that speech, and I'll put the picture up of us sitting there with Wayne and Billy. And Wayne Lynch made that speech on how the hardest thing was our declining ability.
Yes.
And for him to say it, such a legend.
No,
and he said that Batty didn't care, But by the same token, he was only, what was he, like about 63 or 4, so...
When he passed, was it all he was?
I think it was, because
so
that
he was younger than us.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because on the injury side of things, and say 50, when you were 50, you thought you were old, but I mean, looking back now, it was unbelievable.
Good.
And so
took on anything that was thrown our way.
Yeah, and the 5-year blocks really matter after that,
After 65, it becomes very difficult.
So that,
Wayne's had setbacks as well with his shoulder, we're in contact a bit,
Oh, that's good, yeah.
But, he says...
But it's I hadn't heard anybody say that before, and, that dealing with our ability declining, because I'm on this street pop-up caper thing now,
that's a well-known cliche.
It just
pop-up
works.
is the most difficult part of surfing.
The pop-up is,
and it is the
it
most
is.
difficult, not the surfing bit.
No.
And I'm struggling with that because in the last few years I've spent so much time out of the water with just breakages and this and that, and every time you try and come back it gets harder.
It's harder and harder, isn't it? You've got to try and keep going, because the comeback is the hardest thing. So
the last boat trip I made was, we did one, Terry Chandler and a whole crew of us from here in Lennox Head on Tony's Elderington's boat, the big one, the Nugget, and I'd had some problem. Anyway, on the start of the trip, I was really struggling getting to my feet. I wasn't getting to my feet sometimes, I'd get to my feet on the wave or shit. By the time the trip ended, I was starting to really get it together and thought, shit, all I needed was another week and I would have been okay.
Or an extra week preparing before you you left on just the pop-up, because
it just showed that amount of surfing every day, hours on end, that's what'll do it. Not, okay, I'll go for a surf today. It's like you're doing it once, maybe twice a week, and it's...
But still, even the once, twice a week is better than none. The actual act of surfing, the paddling, walking,
even if I don't
like
get to my feet, I'm in the water.
It's so good. It's so good for us, you know. Yeah.
I mean, I've made a few boards now for people who said, hey, I'm not getting to my feet anymore, but I'm not getting out of the water. I want a really big belly board.
Yeah.
I've been doing that.
Yeah.
Because people are swallowing their pride now.
Well, they got
want to get out of the water.
You got to have it.
If you go back 10, 20 years ago,
that wouldn't be seen on a mall. But the thing is that you just got to lower those expectations down to 0. Well, mine's 3 pop-ups. I had 3 pop-ups yesterday, and there was a lot of water moving. When it's little and shitty, it's easier to get this 3 pop-ups than when it's bigger and a lot of water moving. But I got my 3. I was satisfied the whole thing.
I find if there's more momentum in the wave, it's easier to get it. I find when it's really shitty, I'm having a lot of trouble getting it.
Well,
because you've got no momentum to help.
That's part of it. Yeah, you've got to ride. Well, I mean, even you've got to ride bit bigger boards or a lot bigger boards, and
absolutely.
those same boards are hard
Every board I make myself is bigger.
they're hard to duck dive though.
Yeah.
You know, where it's so in the midst, you're on a channel, you can drift over, the boat takes you out to the break.
Yeah.
You know, old Uncle Doris will get you where it's less crowded, hopefully.
Yeah, well,
and it's getting busy up there though.
Doris, Matt Cruden, John McGroder, they're the three pioneers and they're the best captains.
Yeah.
They'll keep you away from the crowd.
Yeah, well that's what you want, because it has got busy up there. The last time I went up there, there was about 8 or 9 boats following one another around. And
that playground sounds impossible these days.
well, they're everywhere. They were just following one another around. But anyway, let's end it on a positive note. Let's get a tip from Gunther for the young shaper, for somebody who's been doing it for 55 years.
Tip for young shapers, God. I don't want to be negative, you know.
No. You don't want them taking your work, but
don't expect too much.
yeah, same as the surfing, isn't it?
Yeah, you know.
Lower your expectations.
Because there's so many people doing it now with the machines, it's made it easier. You don't shape off the blank anymore. And that's equaled, you know, things out a lot, you know. It's made things a lot easier for someone who might otherwise not have managed it, because shaping off the blank, some people weren't suited to it. I mean, you look back in the day, you saw it as well as me, that you saw some boards, a guy's shape and go, he's never going to make it, you know. And it was like it. Now, anyone can get it together. But the finer points, even out of the machine, there's still the finer points, especially rails and stuff. I find we work a lot on that. That still count, you know. You can see when a board's bland, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's not all that much right with it either. And then you will look at one and say, that's sharp, that looks unreal. You know?
Yeah.
You can tell that.
Well, that's what Jeff and I were talking about, Reno's boards back in the day.
Yeah.
They just popped at you.
Yeah.
All right, mate. Well, and you can ask me a question if you want.
Yes.
All right, we'll have to turn it around.
So, John, how's the walk of life with you these days? What are you doing?
It's good. And I went on here, I'm doing that 3 pop-up thing to keep in it, because I'm getting good waves over there. Doing a few boards.
By 3 pop-ups, you mean you get 3 waves?
3 waves
for
where I pop up, and that's my try and do the minimum. You know, you use quite.
All right. So what you're saying is you're out in the water, you're catching a few waves, and if you pop up 3 times.
Yeah.
Well,
I've lowered the expectation down to that, but
Yeah.
I've had some big surf, good heavy surf over there, and because I'd done those 3 pop-ups, I was away again. You know.
The thing is, you're not carrying much weight either. That helps.
No, well, that was the other thing I was going to say. I'm doing fasting.
Yeah.
Because my 3 brothers had open heart surgery, and I found out it was rife in the family, heart disease, so I've worked on that the last 3 years. I've been in fasting, and so I'm going all right, and I'm down to what weight I was in my mid-20s.
That's,
you know, and
that's the big plus.
Yeah.
Because the heavier you are, the harder the pop-up gets. Because I've noticed people my age that I felt, you know, back in the day, well, for want of a better word, I was better. Now I'm going, they're way ahead of me, because they're not, you know, they're not carrying any weight. They've had fast metabolisms, a lot of them.
Yeah.
Because 80% of us, if we don't watch it, we get big.
Well,
and there's the other 20% which they eat what they like and they never get big.
I got up to 83 kilos, and now I'm back to like 68 or 9 or something like that. I was when I was mid-20s.
And that takes a lot of dedication, because I'm 90 kilos.
The fasting, no sugar.
Yeah, sugar's a killer.
Just no sugar.
Sugar's a killer.
You know, you get a bit from fruit and stuff like that, but you know, cut that out. If you've got to read what's in the food, you shouldn't be eating it.
Yeah.
You know, so
That's right.
no processed food.
I mean, it's elementary, really. Just
And then the
fresh.
fast, you know, 2, 3, 4 or 5 day fasts a year. And that's, I think it's a secret. The amount of things that have gone for me, you know, the chronic things. I had a tub of tablets and don't have any of them. I have supplements now, so yeah.
Yeah, I take supplements.
Oh.
I know I weigh too much. You know,
Have a go at the fasting. All right, good. Well, thanks for having me. Come around and give us a cuddle and we'll get a shot. You'll have to come down here. High-tech Harry, we were at a blowout before, so where everything fell on the ground. Thanks, Gun. Cheers, mate.
Thank you, Harry.
Yep.
There's Nick Wood's board from the Billabong one in 89, 90, was it 1990? Anyway, he
At
used
Sunset.
it at Sunset, yeah, he used
Yep.
it on the way. In the final, he used a bigger board, but he
Righto.
used it.
Go to the next board.
That's Luke Egan's. He asked me for a couple of boards.
Is that just gone brown or is that colour?
Yes.
It's just
I can't believe how brown that went.
righto. Okay, the orange one.
Apart from that, there's nothing wrong with it. That's Mac Creases from memory. That's just from the era.
So we've got the
92,
two.
that's just the 92.
The two local motions said nobody's.
There's no one in particular.
Okay, we'll go over to these ones.
That's Gary Hudson's. I didn't keep enough boards, I sold a lot of them, which was stupid.
Yeah, we used to do that back in the day.
That's Sonny Garcia's board.
Which
of the
one?
last ones I ever did. The one with the Kevlar.
Oh, okay. Yep, the one in the middle
That's
there.
a PU, stringerless.
Yep.
And there's Geordie Lawler's, that's very recent.
Oh, okay.
I put him on Timmy Patterson's boards. There's one of Darren O'Raff's boards.
Yep.
And the other one's Reef Doyle's.
Sweet.
Yeah.
Good stuff.